Welcome to the Let's Talk BS podcast. I'm Bryan.
And I'm Sophia, and we're coming to you live from the
757.
Good morning, Bryan.
What's going on, Sophia?
Nothing much. How are you doing?
Doing well. How about you?
Doing pretty good.
That's good. That's good. We have a nice little new setup here, right?
I know. We do.
Yeah, pretty dope. I mean, I know we got a lot of people who listen and don't necessarily look at us on YouTube, but we got a nice little studio. We had a little renovation, I guess you could say,
Yeah,
right?
we did. We did. They did a good job in here. It looks really nice.
Yeah, it looks really nice.
Totally different. I wish you guys could see it, like, from our perspective. Like, you see us on camera, you see, like, a little bit of what's going on behind us, but you don't really get to see
Correct.
what happens. So
Correct.
It's actually pretty good. And I like these new mics, too.
Yeah, definitely nice, man. I feel all professional, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, I think the ones we had before, we had got from Best Buy, kind of like your little standard, you know, mic, which it did the job, but
Oh, yeah.
yeah, these
Don't sleep on those mics.
Nah.
They came in handy.
They did. And it's crazy. I think we're pretty much almost about a year into recording, if I'm not mistaken. I think we're right at, like, we started around
my birthday.
this time last year.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. When your birthday, the end of this month, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What you got planned?
9 days away.
Now you got the countdown going.
Today the 21st. Yep. 9 days away.
What you got planned? What's going on?
I don't really have, like, anything planned here in Virginia, but I am going to H-Town.
H-Town, Houston.
Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Chopped and screwed. H-Town.
Yep, exactly.
Okay.
I'm gonna live my best life.
I heard that.
Yes.
That's
I
good.
can't wait.
That's good. That should be fun. I've never been to Houston before.
Me neither.
Should be
This
fun.
will be my first time. Me and my cousin are going.
Okay.
So we're gonna go out there, and then my really good friends, one from college, one from Florida, they live out there now. So they're gonna actually link up with us and do a little something with us. They already know when I'm coming, we're gonna have a good time.
Oh man!
So,
So what they say? You're the party. When you come, the party actually is officially started. Well, you're the birthday girl too.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
in this sense, that is what it is,
yeah,
right?
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what's up.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm a partier, but I like to have fun.
Yeah.
I'm not the person that's going to sit there and not do nothing and just, like, look at everybody else having fun. Like, no.
Yeah. I hear you.
I don't do that.
Yeah. I hear you on that one.
Yeah, I like to interact. I like to dance. I like to, have fun. Just because I'm married and a mom don't mean I'm dead.
Said married and mom, I'm not dead. That's
No.
I heard that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't get wild or anything. I'm not out here, like, doing crazy stuff, but yeah.
I got you.
Yeah. So what you been up to? I mean,
it's been a minute, man.
Yeah,
man. I mean, it's been a while since we recorded.
Mm-hmm.
We've had a couple of times where we just we couldn't record for scheduling purposes, and like I said, the studio.
It's even been
renovated.
times where we got here and couldn't record.
Correct.
Which is crazy.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. So, but yeah, no, everything's been it's been good. It's been good. The summer's been great. Just doing a lot of things with the kids this year. They're at school, so.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of helped lighten our load a little bit. I know last couple of years they were home for the summer, so Brooke and I just trying to like coordinate daily activities for them, make sure they're still getting enrichment as far as their education, and then also just working and juggling all those things. So being able to drop them off from 8 to 3 has been pretty good for us to be able to still knock out the different things that we need to do in work, because for us, this time of the year is kind of the busier time with people moving and grooving with buying and selling homes. So, but it's been cool. We went to, I think I've mentioned it before, we went to Busch Gardens. We went to Charlotte recently. That was pretty cool. We went to go see some, one of Brooke's best friends lives down there. And then, so we went to go see her. And then we went to go see one of my cousins as well. He lives in Charlotte. So it was pretty cool. Cooked out on the grill, hung out, chilled. That's funny, my kids, they love hotels. Like, I don't know what it is, but they just love, like, hotel rooms. So, like, they just, ever since we've come back, and it's been about 3 weeks ago, like, they've been just like, when we going to a hotel? When we going to a hotel? When we going to a hotel? And just.
Oh, so when y'all got the Airbnb for Charlotte, that wasn't cutting it. That was like, nah.
Yeah.
You should have got a hotel.
Yeah, they
so next
love.
time
They love hotels, man. And another thing that they like as well, where they've been getting into, I should say, is they have like their own like tablets. They love taking pictures of things now. Like that's kind of their thing. Yeah, so they're literally it was funny. We were looking at both of their tablets. They got like 100 pictures of just like
Nothing.
their face, their foot.
Feet.
Yeah,
Yep.
like just like just yeah,
the
you
appearance while you're walking by
yeah,
or some
just
crazy
yeah,
stuff.
man, yeah. So it's just a whole bunch of just randomness in their pictures, man. So that's funny. That's
Carter
funny.
does that to me, and I'm like, dude, stop taking pictures of me. Like one time he got me where, at least for me, I get dressed in front of my kids. You know what I mean? So he caught me like in my underwear. I was like, hold on, wait, we got to delete that one, baby. I can't be on the picture on the phone. But yeah,
that's cool.
He takes pictures of everything.
That's funny, man. Yeah, might have some young photographers coming up. I don't know. Maybe have some young photographers.
Maybe so. I know. So this summer we really haven't like gone on vacation. We were supposed to go to Washington D.C., but my oldest daughter woke up that morning and was like, "No, I want to go." Then she, after she slept in, she came to me like around 4:00 and was like, "When are we going?" I was like, "What? Have you lost your mind? Do you not remember that you told me this morning that you did not want to go?" So now she's been like, "Man, I regret not going. I should have." Got up that morning. I said, yeah, because if you would have got up, you would have slept in the car the additional 4 hours or 3.5, whatever time frame it takes to get there.
Yeah.
I was like, it's not like you were going to get on the highway and help me drive or anything. Like, come on now.
Yeah.
I said, you're lost.
That's funny. Yeah. Had they ever been to DC before?
No? Maya has, but
not the other two?
No.
Okay.
Well, technically Jada has, but she was like 1 when we went.
Yeah,
so she doesn't.
Yeah, it's not like it was something that she could recall.
Exactly. But Carter never, and Jada hasn't since she could remember, and then Maya definitely has. She's been there a few times.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool, man. I had a crazy thing that happened to me, or not to me, but just around me. When we were down in Charlotte, I got a text. One of my neighbors had texted me, one of my buddies, and was like, "Hey, man, the FBI is out the neighborhood." Excuse me. And I was like, "What?" He was like, "Yeah, man, they're out the neighborhood." He's like, "They're actually right across the street from your house."
Oh, shit.
I was like, "What?"
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I was kind of like, "Oh, man." So I was telling Brooke, and so I brought up the idea. I was like, hold on, let's pull up the Ring doorbell. So I pulled up the Ring doorbell, and I was actually watching it. We kind of seemed like we couldn't really hear because
so far away.
Yeah, how far it was. But you can kind of like see them making the arrest, which was kind of wild. Another thing that was crazy too about that is that I remember right before we left, like a couple days before we left, there was like this like gold like van that was like parked in between our house, and the house next to us. And so normally in the neighborhood, I live in a community where you kind of see what's going on.
Correct.
You know whose car is what or whatever.
Exactly.
Everybody kind of looks after each other.
Yep.
And so I kind of seen this vehicle, and I knew it wasn't any it wasn't for me, and it wasn't the neighbor who it was between our houses. So I was just and it was there for like days. And so it was crazy because when I was looking on the Ring doorbell at the whole arrest happening, they had dogs, FBI agents had the dogs and everything. And then the van had now shifted into, it was like almost like it was right in front of my house to the point where like it was kind of like blocking where like if a person tried to come out or whatever. So it was, I was like, dang. So that I don't know for certain, but it made me believe that van was probably, like you said, somebody kind of staking out and watching and seeing with the movement going in and out the house or whatnot. So it was crazy.
So did you guys ever figure out, or do you know that the neighborhood actually because you guys live in an association, so I'm assuming that the president has to know what's going on within the community. Did anybody ever talk about like what happened?
No, it's funny. What made me think about it just now was because yesterday I was in the backyard playing with my kids, and my other neighbor to the other side of me was outside because they have a pool. So they were out there with their kids, and we were just talking, or whatnot, catching up. And they were talking about it because they were actually gone that same weekend that it happened, because it happened like early Sunday morning. And so they were gone that weekend. And so they were asking us, did we hear or do we know anything about it? And we were like, no. I mean, it was like on Facebook, and then I seen it got deleted. Like, so I don't know what's going on. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure it'll come out here eventually, but it was kind of wild. I was like, dang, it's crazy.
That is, and nobody has been there since. Like no cars have been in and
out. No. So actually, I have seen cars come in and out. I mean, so I don't know who got arrested. I don't know, because I'm assuming the neighborhood we live in is like a family neighborhood. So it's not like
Correct.
just a single person typically doesn't live in a house there. So I'm assuming maybe one of the people that lived in the home was arrested.
Yeah.
So I'm still thinking the other folks still live there. So I've
Okay.
seen people come in and out as far as vehicles go, in and out,
Yeah.
in and out the house or whatnot. So yeah, but it's crazy.
That is crazy. If one of my neighbors came up to me, I think it was like a week and a half ago, and she was like, "Hey," she was like, "I noticed that you have some cameras. Can you check your cameras? Because somebody put my tires on flat."
Dang.
That's what I said.
Dang.
I was like, when? Like, you got to narrow that down. Like, I was like, I got a lot of footage. Like, I can't, I don't have, like, sorry, unfortunately, I don't have the time to go back and look at days worth of footage. Like, if you have a Ring camera or if you have, any type of camera system set on your house, like, it does a bunch of clips. And so anytime there's any activity, so somebody could walk past the house, a dog or cat can walk in the camera's view, and it'll automatically start recording. At least my cameras that do that. And so I have thousands of little mini clips. So I was like, well, you got to narrow it down. Like, I need to know what day, around what time, because I don't really have time to, go and look at every single video. But
Yeah.
I did, do my due diligence and try to help her out, and I ain't seen nobody do anything to her car. So I'm going to assume that, maybe it was something mistaken. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or maybe because I know my husband, he has a pickup truck. And so sometimes if he's parked in front of the house, I can't see beyond his truck. And there were a couple days where that was the case. So it could have happened on those days and I couldn't see it. And I was trying to explain that to her. So, yeah, unfortunately, things happen in your neighborhoods, and it's funny. Yeah, it's crazy.
That's crazy, man. But
yeah, outside of that, I mean, I really haven't taken any vacations. I know Maya, she's back in volleyball, but now it's for high school, so they're doing their conditioning. And the cool thing is this past week, the varsity coach came up to her and was like, "Hey, you should start practicing with us." So
okay.
If she makes varsity,
she's an incoming freshman, right?
Incoming freshman, yeah. So
Okay.
I'm hoping that she can, get on and make that team. But I told her, I was like, it's one thing to get on the team. After you get to make the team, now you got to fight for a spot. So,
yeah,
you don't want to come in just riding the bench. Like, you want to make sure that you make your presence known and that you're actually getting time on the clock. You know?
I mean, what she could probably do, I'm pretty sure I know things have changed. I know when I played, I was actually fortunate enough because like when I was growing up, it was 9th and 10th grade plays JV, and then 11th and 12th grade plays varsity. But if you were really, really good 9th, 10th grader, then you can, make varsity. And so I actually made varsity football and basketball, but I wasn't getting any playing time, because, I mean, I made the team. I was good enough to make the team, but like you said, as far as actually being able to get a spot, I really wasn't playing really at all. So what they allowed me to do for football was I was able to play like JV, right? So I played JV, a couple of games. Their games were like on like Wednesdays or Thursdays, and then I would also dress out and be a part of the varsity team. And then I actually, towards the middle part of the season, I was able to get on the field a little bit here and there. But just being on the team, it does give you that exposure. And to me, that's something that's really important.
Yeah, practicing with them is key. And I was telling her that because mine was a little bit different. So for me, our high school had a freshman team, a JV team, and a varsity.
3 different teams.
Yeah,
oh,
and
wow.
a varsity team.
Wow. Okay.
And so, same thing. If you were really good, you may not get playing time in the higher level, but you'll get playing time in the lower level. And
Correct.
I was telling her, like, it was kind of like that for me as well. So, like, I would practice with the team that I was playing with that week. Because we had 3 games or 3 different teams, most our games were on the same nights.
Okay.
So freshman will play JV, then varsity.
Okay.
And so I told her, I was like, you would know what team you playing on, from my experience, from that week. Because that week you would practice with the team you was playing with, because you got to practice your plays. I was like, I don't know if they call plays in volleyball, but
yeah,
you would have to practice.
I think sets
yeah,
plays.
I don't know what they call it. Yeah, but I just was like, you can do both.
Yeah.
So she's gonna practice with both and try to see if she can fill a spot on the varsity team. So.
Okay, that'd be dope, man.
Yeah.
That's good, man. That's
is.
really, really good. I'm glad that sounds like she really loves the sport. I know that jump from middle school to high school, it could be a pretty big one. It could seem like it's pretty daunting. Like I said, just because of the variety of ages. You know, normally when you're playing as you're growing up, you're normally playing with people that's exactly your age, maybe 1 year older, maybe 1 year younger, depending on how your birthdays fall. But when
Yeah.
you're in high school, I mean, it's a 4, sometimes 5 year window of ages. So it definitely could be intimidating, man. I remember, like I said, playing and being very intimidated. But if you love it, I mean, you'll do it. And like I said, it sounds like she's having a good time and doing well with it. So that's great. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one of my so we have a morning meeting every day,
Yeah.
Monday through Thursday at 9:30, and she has to be picked up by 10. So I'm on the meeting during my commute there, and it's wild because like when I'm sitting there waiting on her to come out to the car, I see like the varsity team pulling up, and these kids driving, like driving themselves to school and getting ready for practice and gathering their belongings. I was like, man, I haven't seen this in so long. Like, it's crazy. Like, I haven't seen this since, I was in high school because I've always had younger kids. So now that we're rolling into this high school level, it's wild. Like, she about to just start driving in a couple years,
Yeah, that is wild.
Next school year, really.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there thinking about my kids. My son's birthday is in a couple of weeks in August. He turned 5, and I was already sitting there thinking I'm getting kind of like, oh man, I'm like, dang, he's a third of the way to like being like an adult. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, dang, that's crazy. Life is flying by. And I know with your daughter, your oldest anyway, I mean, like you said, she's getting ready to drive, which is crazy. I still be tripping. I got a younger sister who she just turned, I think 29. Yeah, she just turned 29, and I'm still tripping that she drives. You know what I'm saying?
What?
Like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I remember like this like her behind the wheel and her how she looked. I'm like, that's my little baby sister. And like even still now to this day, like if we meet up or I see her driving, I'm like, that's crazy. You know what I mean? So
Wow.
yeah.
That's insane. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's something different, I must say. We having a lot of new experiences. So like, usually I'm the one that kind of knows things when it comes to kids. Like I just be knowing stuff, right? Because I've experienced it. I've experienced it before. A lot of my peers or whatever.
Yeah.
But now I'm in new territory, and I don't really have too many friends that have kids at this point, at this age.
Yeah.
Usually, their kids are older. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So and things are different.
Yeah.
Nowadays. It's. I heard my daughter refer to this girl as they. I was like, who is what? Where are they at? And she was like, no, that's their pronoun. I was like, oh, it threw me off for a second. I was like, I only see one person. Who are you talking about?
Yeah. That's
new territories.
Yeah. But it sounds like your summer's doing well. Like I said, mine's doing well. It's crazy because, like I said, we haven't been able to record recently. We're gonna have to try to probably record early too. Because next week I'm going to Vegas. I know you said you're going to Houston, so I got one more trip before the summer's out.
I think I have it on. I think I did the schedule to where we scheduled it out with your vacation and my vacation. I think we did it. I think we went over the calendar. We'll check. You know how that goes.
But I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to going.
You looking forward to that 120?
That's what I was about to say. I'm looking forward to
I'm not.
going because it's a big fight that's happening. That it's my favorite boxer. He's fighting, and it's like a really, really big fight. Something that I, once Niall gets of aged, I'll be able to say, hey, your dad went to there, and be able to show him some stuff. So I'm really looking forward to that aspect of it. But yeah, like you said, the heat. I was looking at the weather. At least it's trending down. I know when I looked at it like a week ago, it was like 115, 116 degree. Now it's like 106, 107. So like it dropped like 10 degrees, but I don't know. I know the hotel we're staying at got a pool, so I'm going to be at the pool, and then just being inside. I ain't going to be walking around outside that much.
Nah, you can't do that.
Yeah, it's going to be too hot for that.
It's going to be too hot for that.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it, though.
on
Houston's
doing
going to be
that.
hot, too, though. I mean, Houston's going to be darn near the same thing, to be honest with you. They be in the 100 degrees, too.
For sure.
It's going to be hot.
100% agree with you.
Yeah,
it's definitely going to be hot.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just feel like they're in Vegas, like, I don't know. I don't know. When I think of Vegas and I think of Houston, I think Vegas is just way more hotter. That's just me. I don't know. Could be my own little way of thinking, but
yeah, I don't know. Hot is hot to me, though. I mean, when you over 100 degrees, it's hot. Like it's just it don't. You know what I mean? It's hot.
because it's been hot here.
Yeah, it's there. I mean, they're talking about it in the news. Yeah, I mean, it's been. It's been a heat wave. It's been the hottest temperatures recorded like in history, like as far as across
Correct.
the
Since
across
like the early 1900s.
yeah, yeah. So it's been a minute since it's been this hot. So
Hmm.
definitely make sure you're hydrating. Staying inside if you can. So
Correct.
yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean it's good kind of catching up. It's been good catching up on about what's been going on. Sophia got her phone ringing over here, so
But the
y'all know that.
crazy thing is that it rang through my computer. So that's the
Yeah,
reason why it rang.
yeah. I mean, your computer's probably it's your Mac. It's probably connected to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. That happens too. We have a Mac, so like if you get like a call FaceTime, it'll go through like
Yeah.
all your
All your
devices.
devices, yeah. And
Yeah.
because I have it open, it started ringing. I was like, wait, hold on, how is it doing? I had to think about it real quick. I had to think about it real quick, but
That's funny, but nah,
yeah.
yeah. So
So
it's been a lot going on. I mean, I know we kind of caught up as far as personally what's been going on. Summertime.
with this increase in heat, well, we've been getting the increase in rates.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like they're working hand in hand right
They
now.
are. That's exactly what it seems like. You know what I mean? It's been a pretty eventful, man. I know we've had some times where rates dropped a little bit, and then it feels like as soon as we get some drop in the rates, and we're looking like, hey, man, maybe we can continue to have this. Then they go right back up, and a lot of times they go up higher than where they were beforehand. So it's like we take 2 steps forward, and then 3 steps back, and then 2 steps forward.
10 steps
Oh, 10
back.
steps. My bad. Yeah, I'm shortchanging.
You missed, yeah.
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 Yeah. So it's been definitely definitely been a little bit difficult to kind of you know maneuver that. But I mean, people are still out here buying houses because of the low inventory and because of the need of ownership and having housing. So just kind of navigating and being able to try to get ahead of that. I mean, one good thing though I will say is this week that we got news for Spark.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So
Listen.
I know you were telling me you got a deal that's closing end of this month.
Correct.
Yeah. So
I had to squeeze in and beg for pretty much.
yeah.
So the program specialist over at Spark, it's only one of them, and she just so happened to had already scheduled vacation.
Well,
for,
actually, do this. Tell them what it is, like what Spark is and how it works, just so they can kind of people listening, so they know what it is.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I know that Spark has different levels to it. I know that they, have also cash or money opportunities, but for what we utilize it for, it's a 1% rate reduction program. So, for instance, if today's rate is 7% and you qualify for that Spark grant, then you could potentially lower your interest rate down 1%, which would make that 7% interest rate now 6%, which is huge when it comes to home purchase. It doesn't seem like a lot. I know you're like, oh, that's just 1%, but no, 1% makes a huge difference in your monthly mortgage payment. I mean, 1%, you can, if your rate drops by 1%, you're in that it's time to refinance area,
Yeah.
So
And then honestly, just from the standpoint of, and I'll let you finish the story. I was jumping in as far as the buying power it gives you as well. I mean, and the savings over time. You know what I mean? Like I was doing the math on it. Like obviously, it depends on how much your loan is. But on average, I mean, you're saving at least about $300 to $400 if you're buying a home that's like in the high twos, low $300,000 price point. So I mean, just that 7% to 6%, you're saving that monthly. Like I said, let's just say $250, $300 a month. You're saving that monthly, and then you're saving the amount of interest you're paying over time. I mean, you're talking tens of thousands of dollars over time.
Between 30 and 70,000 easy knocked
Yeah.
off in interest. So
Yeah.
if you don't know, when you're looking at a loan over time, over 30 years, you end up buying your house 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, multiple times for sure. Yeah.
With the interest that you pay on the house. So you pay, $200,000 for that house when it comes to like the base loan, the mortgage itself, but with the interest included and tacked onto that, I mean, you've bought that house, you've probably paid like $600,000-$700,000 on that house. So that's why it's always good to apply extra principal payments towards your mortgage so you can reduce the amount of interest that you pay to the lender.
Absolutely.
At the end of your term.
Yeah. So we were told, and I'll let Sophia kind of finish her story. We were told last year we used Spark. I mean, it was heavy. Like I think it came out around this same time. It was like around top of August, and the funds ran out within about 2 months.
Oh yeah.
So it was because once the HUD they allot a certain amount of funds for it, and then once it's out, it's out. And so I know ever since like last October, we've been reaching out almost every month on the month, asking, hey, is Spark here, Sparking? And so they finally, a couple months ago were like, hey, we're expected to have it in July. So since July 1st, I've been reaching out, emailing them, checking to seeing when when it's going to happen. And so we finally got that email on Monday that, hey, Spark funds are available. And so I got a couple of buyers that I'm helping right now that are taking advantage of. And I'll let Sophia finish her story about the person that she's helping. And I got a story I was going to jump in and say as well. So
yeah. So back to the person who kind of like orchestrates the program. It's only one of them, and so she had a pre-scheduled vacation because it was always told to us that Spark funds would be available in July, but no one knew the date. And so when she got the date, obviously she let us know, but she had already scheduled this vacation. So she's on vacation for the entirety of next week, and my closing is on July 31st. So when we originally reached out, we were like, well, can we get an appointment so this person can qualify for Spark? And she was like, well, I'm on vacation. I'm already booked. Like, I've gotten so many people try to reach out. And so my buyer kind of took things and matters into his own hands. And as soon as he found out that he even had a slight of a chance, a slither of a chance to qualify for it, he went and sat in the office and was like, I'm just going to wait until you, can squeeze me in. And she was able to do it. And he got the 1% rate reduction. So
that's good.
It was huge.
Yeah.
I told him, I said, I'm glad that you did that because, we were creeping up on the weekend. She goes on vacation next Monday. And then the following Monday is when, the close date is. So It's kind of like, I'm glad that you had that time and that opportunity to actually do something like that. So
yeah, I ain't mad at that. I tell people all the time, man, if I'm like what they say, don't take no for an answer type of thing.
Make time for what is important, though.
Correct. Well, not even about make time for what's important. To me, it's just one of those things where it's like, if it's a situation that's going on and there's urgency on your behalf because you want something, nobody else is going to have that same type of urgency. So sometimes you have to go and do it and make it happen. You know what I'm saying? And so that's why, I feel that was important, like you said, that he did that because without him having that urgency and going up and basically, taking no for an answer, or taking like, hey, well, my schedule is this, like that. Well, hey, I'm here. I will be ready when you're ready.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, other people ain't showing up. I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm next.
Exactly. So yeah, that I'm glad to hear that, man. I have a buyer that I'm working with right now, which is really, really great. So with that same program, like Sophia mentioned, typically, people that take advantage of it is through like Virginia Housing, right? So it's a first-time home buyer who normally would take advantage of the Spark program, as Sophia mentioned.
And it's geared towards minorities.
Yeah, and it's geared towards minorities as well. So I have a buyer that I'm helping, young military guy. He's buying, him and his family. He has a wife with 2 kids. His wife stays at home, so they're living off of just his income. And they're buying a new construction. So a new construction home is being built in Hampton. And they're getting it for like right around $320,000, $325,000, if I'm not mistaken. So it's a nice, 2,000 square foot home, in Hampton. And the good thing about it is he's using his VA loan, right? So he's getting 100% financing. Then what he's also doing is the seller or the builder is giving him all of his closing costs, right? So that was something that the seller had marketed. When they started building the house towards the beginning of this year, the market was kind of down. And so, they were putting out about closing costs and all that to try to, get some buyers to, to purchase or whatnot. And so they got under contract early, right when the guy started to build the home, the builder. So they got all their closing costs paid. And then with the Spark program, where the rates are now, like Sophia mentioned, he's going to be able to get a much better rate because he qualifies as a first-time home buyer, and he's within the income limits and the debt to incomes as well. So he qualifies for Spark. So he's going to get a 1% reduction in his rate. Then on top of that, he's going to get a grant as well, because with him being a VA buyer and not a need for down payment assistance, because his down payment he doesn't have one, but because he's 100% financing
and a first-time
home buyer, he gets a 2% grant to go towards, technically closing costs, but all of his closing costs are being paid. So with VA, they allow you to do a debt reduction. So he's going to have that, approximately $6,400 that's going to go towards paying down one of his credit cards. And the good thing about him is he doesn't have really any debt, right? And so what he's going to do, and what you can do is he's going to use his credit card and go buy like furniture and things that he needs for the house that they were going to buy, and then and then have that 2% to be applied towards that credit card at closing. So he's basically going to get all of his house furnished, all of his closing costs paid, and his interest rate reduced by 1%. So yeah, he's in a great situation, and then it's great. I love, having these success stories and talking about it because, he was very nervous when we first started the process, because, he was telling me like, hey man, I got 2 young children. My wife isn't working. She's taking care of the kids. Like, so he was really like, nickel dime wanting to make sure and all that. And then as the rates were increasing, he was getting nervous about it, especially, during this time frame or whatnot. So, being able to like really give him all of those different, benefits in his home purchase really gave him a lot of peace of mind.
Yeah. So for me, I basically was able to do kind of a little bit of sort of thing that you did. So for me, my buyer was able to, he was VA, he was already getting 100% financing, he was a first-time home buyer, and he was able to utilize the 2% grant as well. But in our case, he wasn't as interested in paying off debt. He was more interested in a lower interest rate. So what I did was I took that 2% grant and bought his rate down, and then in addition to that, used Spark to reduce it by 1%. So we got a 5.375% interest rate in this market.
Oh, so I didn't even know that. So question. So you can do that?
Oh, yeah.
So you're saying I can use the 2% and have that applied? So, interesting. Yeah. Interesting. Because we didn't talk about that, but I think for him, he was really, because of like I told you, his situation, he was really more conscious of that portion of it versus
paying off debt
or buying, furniture. So I'm going to actually have a conversation 2%. With him and see if he wants to maybe do that, because for me, I didn't even think about it like that because the rate wasn't on the rate sheet. So I didn't even think that rate was possible to go that low. You know what I'm saying? But I guess
the rate. So the rate on the rate sheet was 6.375.
Yeah, that's after the 2%.
That's after we only used 1.5%.
Yeah, after using the grant, after using a portion of the grant.
Correct.
And then you were able to go from that point to 1%. Oh, okay. Yep. Okay. So that's a little reverse way of going about it.
Correct.
That's dope.
Yeah,
okay.
So he
look. Breaking news. I learned something. And I always be telling Sophia, like, I be learning stuff from her because she be thinking, like, she's always learning from me. But I didn't know nothing about that. I didn't know to look at it like that. So that's dope. That's dope. I'm going to definitely have to give him a call.
That's okay, though, because I to this day, when it comes to a tax return, I be like, Bryan, talk to me like I'm 2. Break this down.
Yeah.
I know he be like, damn, Sophia, like, we talked about this last time, but
that's all good.
It's always far and few, because I don't really get a whole lot of self-employed borrowers that can actually qualify. So I get a lot of self-employed people, but then, when I take a look at their tax return, they ain't report no income. So right off the bat, I already know, like, we can't move forward, right? But then you every now and again, you get that, far and few that actually report income and actually report that they are receiving income, that there's a net. Because a lot of people like to write off all their income. Because the more you write off, the less money you pay in taxes. But every now and again, we get those few that actually do it right. And when I get those borrowers, which is far and few, I always call Bryan like, so the Schedule C.
Yeah.
Depreciation, we add that back in, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Amortization, that one too?
Yeah, that's true. That's a fact. That is a fact. But like I said, obviously I don't mind helping you when it comes to that. That's easy stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah. I mean, so obviously.
Definitely hit your buyer up and, try to give that option, because I think that if payment is his issue, then he could potentially, you can even split it up, because you got the full 2%. So you could probably use 1% to buy down the rate and then utilize the 1% for whatever he wants to purchase. With VA, that's the one thing that's very special about the VA loan that no other program allows. It does allow you to use any access closing costs that is not going to be used in the transaction to be applied towards debt, because the VA does allow that, and they consider it something that you can take advantage of. So
correct.
it's awesome to be able to use this money and not have to give it back to either the grant program or the seller, because in most cases, let's say if this was an FHA loan and there was too much closing costs, yes, we can buy down the rate, but let's say we've done all that, then that money kind of goes back to the seller, and there's nothing you can't apply it towards anything else. Yeah. So
that's what's up. I appreciate that. Like I said, breaking news on the podcast. There we go. Light bulb. The people who's watching out there, I don't know if you've seen a little light bulb go across my head. I was like, oh, okay, that's what's up. So that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah. So that'll be cool. I hope that works out, and he uses that, because although he does need essentials like a refrigerator and well, with new construction, do they provide? They provide
this one. I mean, they don't, for VA. They don't have to provide a refrigerator, but I believe
stove.
Yeah, they gotta have a stove. Yeah. But I believe this one. I want to say they are providing a refrigerator, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken, I think so.
That's even better.
Yeah, I was talking to
washer
the listing
and dryer.
agent the other day.
Then
Yeah.
There's
I'm gonna work it out.
Blinds.
That just gives me more options for him. So I'm gonna have a conversation with him a little bit later today.
That'll be what's up.
That's what's up. That's good stuff. So
I feel like today we kind of went into the topic a little bit, but I mean, we didn't even get to exercise your knowledge. But let me jump right into that. So typically, during the podcast earlier in the segment, when we get through talking about our past weeks, we asked you guys a mortgage related question, and today we did not do that. So
we didn't. I don't know.
Here we are.
Yeah, I was about to say new studio. They got us doing new things, right? Yeah.
So during this segment, during Exercise Your Knowledge, we ask you a mortgage-related question, and we want you guys to answer that question in your mind, or you can say it out loud, because, of course, we can't hear you. And then later on in the segment, we will reveal. Ooh, I stumbled through that one. Reveal our answer. So today's Exercise Your Knowledge is, speaking of rates, speaking of this environment, what information drives interest rates? Do you know that? Do you know what you need to be following? Do you know, what makes rates go up? What makes them go down? So think about the answer to that question, and we will reveal it later on in the segment.
Yeah. I mean, we've talked about it good much. I mean, it ain't going to be very much long in the segment.
Yeah, that is very, very true. So have you had any situations that's happened in the past couple weeks that kind of stand out for you? Because I feel like for me, I've been getting multiple, if not multiple, like 2 or 3 agents that have been hitting me up, and they're like, hey, the other lender isn't able to get this done. Can you quickly take it and try to see if you can save it type of thing?
Yeah.
I've been getting that a lot lately, and so I don't know. Have you?
Yeah, honestly, I get that all the time. I get that a lot, but I feel like
for me, it's
happening more frequently for you.
I've had 3 or 4 in the past week.
Yeah.
Or 2 weeks. Sorry, 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think that's the conversation me and you've always had, where I feel like there's some agents out there. I have my core agents I work with, but there's some agents out there that I'm like, you always call me when things go south, because you feel and that if it can work, I can make it work. Why don't you just call me when we first start? Correct. You know what I mean? So that's why I was saying I feel like I haven't personally seen any uptick in that situation, but it always happens. I mean, I can every single month, if you look at my closed deals that I help when it comes to a buyer, for that month, every month, 1 to 2 of them that I'm getting, I would say about 2 a month, are people who they initially were under contract with someone else. I mean, that's just how it always is,
That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, but it's just and what you're seeing, I mean, is just, honestly, I look at it, that just gives me hey, people know that I can get it done,
Correct.
So when that happens, I'm the first person that they call, and then that helps me also win that relationship with that particular person, if it's somebody who I don't have a relationship with, or not a cemented relationship with. But yeah.
Yeah, I feel like you. I mean, call us to begin with, and you won't have that issue, because I feel like, at least I know for me, I do a lot of TBD approvals. I know that you don't really do them as much.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that there's any difference. It's just that I do a lot of upfront manual underwrites. So I actually send all my files to underwriting for the most part. I mean, especially the ones that have something quirky going on. Let's say it's somebody that's self-employed. I'm going to run that through underwriting.
Yeah.
Let's say it's someone who has like a funky income or there's questionable income as to where we can use it or not. Then I'm going to send that through underwriting
Yeah.
because I don't want anything to happen later on in a transaction where nobody was aware of it and now it's something new and then they're like, oh, well, we didn't know about this. No, we're going to underwrite this in the beginning and you're going to know.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're going to know. You're not going to give me that excuse. You're going to know.
Yeah.
So that's one thing about our company that is very unique because a lot of companies don't do this, but we do underwrite the file up front. We have the opportunity to. A lot of people just, you run it through DU and that's just what it is. No,
Yeah.
we have the opportunity to submit it to underwriting, almost get like a full conditional approval. So where when you do find a house, all we need is an appraisal, an inspection, and title work.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think that's very unique. And then another thing, I actually was talking to an agent last night where she told me she was approached by a lender for her to be a dual agent and loan officer.
Yeah, I've been seeing that. That is something that I've been seeing a lot lately, which, feeling a little. I don't know. I mean, I'm really eager to see how it comes out or how it actually ends up, happening. But you got a lot of real estate agents that are, looking at potentially because something came out earlier this year. I think it was towards the end of last year where FHA has now signed off on a person being able to be a real estate agent and a mortgage loan officer, and it be an FHA loan. So, for instance, you can't, like for a real estate agent, you can't be the person who shows the person the house and then also do the mortgage for that exact same house. But what you can do is you can be the real estate agent and you could be a real estate agent and
work for a mortgage company, and then essentially because you have two jobs, you can be an employee of this mortgage company and send your leads to this mortgage company, and then in return they're paying you for those referrals. So it's a roundabout way of paying for referrals.
Yeah, to me it just screams RESPA violation. Like, if anybody knows what RESPA is, that's just RESPA is one of those. It's like the body that says, hey, you can't. That gives the rules and regulations of what you can do as far as fair practices in the mortgage industry.
And that's what I was telling the agent that I was speaking to last night. I was like, that sounds cool. I said, but on the mortgage side of things, we have a lot more risk when it comes to that type of stuff. There's so much that we can't do that a real estate agent can do, that you would think that our jobs are almost interchangeable, but we have way more violations and fines that we will be held accountable for, not for our company, but also individually.
Yeah.
That could potentially take away our license and never allow us to be able to practice mortgages or real estate again.
Yeah.
So I was telling her, I was like, I think that that's a roundabout way of paying for referrals.
Yeah.
And I think that once RESPA gets wind of it, they're going to set boundaries on what that looks like with these mortgage companies. And I think that it may slide for now. And I think that it will be the new way for a little bit. But once it gets to a point where people start actually like making complaints, it's going to be an issue. It's just like agents, it's a fine line between representing the both sides of the transaction. They've done and set laws where, they put like standards on what you can do when you are the listing agent and you're helping the buyer, because it's a conflict of interest.
Yeah, and you're steering,
so
you
when
you
you have
somebody
so I was telling her, I was like, if it comes to it and that becomes a new wave and it's okay with RESPA and there's no violation of the Dodd-Frank Act and all that stuff, then cool, I might jump in that wave too. I said, but I don't want to be I ain't trying to fuck around and find out. You know
the
Instagram post?
Yeah.
If you fuck around, you go find out.
Yeah.
I ain't trying to be that person.
Yeah, me neither. And I understand it. Like, I've had a lot of conversations with some of my peers, like you said, that are agents, even brokers. I mean, a lot of them are, kind of
entertaining the fact that it can be a possibility because they eat from it. They're winning.
Correct. Yeah, and then just they're in a situation now where they're struggling a little bit because obviously there's not as much business to go around as it was, the last couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
So what their in-house or what they're receiving is less, and then on top of it, to be competitive when it comes to like recruiting and having their agents in their office, a lot of them are on splits that are like 100%, 90%. So beforehand, how it used to be, a lot of times agents, when they're attached to a brokerage, they're split with that broker. So when it comes to like that 3% commission, they're split maybe like, 60-40 or even 70-30. That's kind of like the normal. But a lot of top agents or agents who do a lot of business have been going to these brokerages who've created these 100% models where, maybe there's only a certain amount of fee that you got to, contribute to the brokerage, and then the rest is all 100%. So that 3% commission, you get all of that, right?
Correct.
And so a lot of brokerages are kind of struggling because that percentage that they used to get, they're not getting anymore. So they're trying to figure out ways to still make money and keep within the production that they're already doing, right? And so one of the ways is that mortgage piece, right? And so you have these, like I said, these real estate broker companies that are trying to really get a part of it. But the funny thing I look at it is I feel like they're really devaluing what we do, as a mortgage professional. Like a lot of times I feel like they just think, hey, we take applications, we do that. It's kind of like really basic. But it's funny, man. What we do a lot, Sophia. We do a whole lot. I feel like we psychiatrists, there's times I'm talking to these people, because when you're buying a house, the real estate agent aspect of it, it's the fun part. Hey, you're looking at houses, you're envisioning yourself in the house. A real estate agent writes contracts, and I'm not trying to devalue or say the real estate agent's job is easy. I'm not saying that at all. It's not. It's hard. But I would say that what we do is equally as hard, if not harder, because we're having we're having those tough conversations. A lot of times we're talking about people's credit. We're talking about things they can and can't do. And those are conversations that they're really not having. And then when it comes to how much money you got to spend and how much things cost and what payments are. And I mean, it goes deep. And
we go deep.
Yeah, we go deep. I mean, and a lot of times, things change, costs change. And a lot of people, when it comes to money, what they say, when it comes to money, they act funny, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, we're having these conversations. If somebody comes to us and they're excited, they want to buy a house, we have to tell them no. That's a tough conversation to have.
It is. It's a tough conversation, and you'll be surprised, like, what we see. And we, like, I don't know if, I know you do go through bank statements, but you can really go through a bank statement and see how someone lives.
Yeah.
And you can see what they do. Like, I was reviewing a bank statement, like, a couple days ago, and my guy had, what's that, OnlyFans?
Yeah.
One after the other.
Yeah, I've seen
and I was like, dang, like, that's, you must have a little bit of a lonely life to sit there and do that all day. Like,
yeah,
I mean,
man.
It was transaction after transaction. I was like, whoa.
Yeah. I've seen that too.
Yeah.
I mean, food stuff, habits. I mean, I've seen all that. I mean, but
yeah.
I mean, not even, like I said, it's just I mean, there's been times where I've had people,
credit.
The agents don't even know that like a deal has fell apart because of the person's negligence, and then we're having to like problem solve and figure things out. And it's like, I honestly feel like we're low key like an attorney. Like, I feel like, hey, there's rules from Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, but we have to we know what the book is, right? But we have to sometimes think outside the box and get creative with our thinking and how we problem solve in a situation just to get this person to home.
Correct.
And it's difficult. It's really difficult. It's not something that you could just easily do. Like, you have to I think you got to take years.
It takes years of training.
Yeah,
so
and you have to be, honestly, to me, you have to be wrapped a certain way, mindset wise. And it's just different. It's just different. It's not just something that's like taking an order. And I feel like sometimes I think real estate agents think that's what we do, is we're just looking at paperwork, taking an order, and anybody can do it, but which is furthest from the truth.
Yeah, because analyzing a credit report and taking a look at income, and a lot of people ain't really even good at numbers for real.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, anybody.
Talking about yourself?
Oh, listen.
I'm just being
bare minimum. Look, I could do this, but you put a algebra equation in front of me, I'm probably looking at it like, hold on, wait.
I don't even know why they still teaching algebra in school, man. We don't use that stuff in real life.
We don't. We really don't.
Use that stuff in
They
real
need
life.
to replace it with budgeting.
Yeah. Or credit. I think just credit, like
credit should be a subject
credit.
too.
Yeah, like understanding how credit works, what
The
moves credit
government needs to
scores.
take that course.
Well, I mean, but you understand that they're not going to
I'm
do
just
that
playing. Yeah.
because the more you educate people about things like that, then banks and all these other people who make money off of people's
Correct.
mishaps. I mean, that's they want people. They want certain people to be successful, a certain
Yeah.
percentage of people, but
But
they
they don't
also
want
don't want to
everybody.
give you so much information that everybody knows better because then
So speaking of banks, did you see in the news that the AKAs made a bank?
I did see that.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I did see that.
That's I
Yeah.
thought about looking into that for a
Mhm.
second. I was like, I wonder how this works.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
thought that was pretty cool
That is
for
cool. That is cool.
a sorority.
Yeah, I know a couple of AKs. My boy, his wife's an AKA. So
Yeah.
that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. All right. So
Knowledge.
this market is crazy. So
yeah, it is.
yeah, I feel like we gave you guys some good information.
Yeah, and we didn't really have like today. We were like, hey, we haven't been on here in a little while. We have a new studio, and we just kind of wanted just to kind of catch you up on where we are and what's been going on.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been busy. We have this, and I'll kind of mention it now, but we have this basketball tournament that's coming up as well. So that should be pretty cool.
We do have a basketball tournament.
Yeah.
So, I came to Bryan last year, I think it was, and I was like, man, Bryan, we should put together like a basketball tournament.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, yeah, that sounds like a dope idea. And so, there's another Bryan that works here at our company, and he just so happened to be in the studio one day. And so we got to talking to him, and I told him about the idea that I had told Bryan about. He was like, I thought about the same thing. I even got a name and everything for it. And
Yep.
so we all kind of collaborated and just put our ideas and our thoughts together. And we came up with this 5-on-5 basketball tournament. And it's amongst all real estate related individuals. So
Yeah.
it doesn't matter if you're a real estate agent, a lender, a
Accountant,
contractor, an accountant,
builder.
a housekeeper,
Yep.
a house cleaner, electrician. Well, I guess
Appraiser.
that falls. Appraiser, home
Yeah.
inspector, title company.
Yeah.
If you fall under this umbrella, you can be a part of the tournament. And so the planning on that is going well. We have 5 teams established. We have 3 more that we're looking to build, and that is going to be on the weekend of August 19th and 20th. It's a 2-day tournament, so I'm super excited about that.
Yeah.
I'm going to be on the mic with one of Bryan's friends. He's going to be way more entertaining than me, but I am going to try my best because I am not one for public speaking. I think you hold that crown. But I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm excited, man. I'm excited too because it's gonna be at my old high school that I went to. So I'm really big. Especially I know a lot of folks. When they graduate, they look to move and go different places and explore, and I'm all for that, man. That's awesome. I love to go see new places and all of that. But I went to college away for a couple of years, but then I came back here, and I've been here, for 25 years plus now. So I really feel, my roots are here, man. And I really appreciate, my upbringing, the things that I saw, things that helped me become the man that I am today. And so anytime or any opportunity I have to give back and try to help the folks that are coming up, just like I did, I try to do that. And so that's why we're having it at Tallwood High School, the high school that I went to, because we're actually going to be giving scholarships away to a Tallwood student and also help the basketball program as well.
Yes.
So I just remember, just kind of how those things still in my mind to this day. I mean, I'm almost 20 years removed from high school, and I remember just like how those moments, the people that were in my life at that time, how those things still resonate with me today. So I think it's really big, once you establish yourself in your, in your professional career, to give back to the community that you're a part of or where you live, even if it's not where you're from. I mean, just where you're currently living.
Where you live, because I've been doing things for the community here.
Yeah.
Since I can remember.
Yeah.
And I would love to do things in the community that I grew up in, but it's just a little bit different when you're far away from it.
Yeah.
So back, no matter what state I lived in, no matter where I lived, I've always given back, always tried to do something to boost up the kids in the community, always tried to donate, whatever it is, whether it was money or my time, we've always tried to do that.
Yeah.
So I'm actually excited to do this one this year. Usually I do a backpack giveaway, but because the basketball tournament is something that is it's not a small project, so
Yeah.
I decided to put a hold on the basketball on the backpack giveaway this year, and in return we're still giving away like multiple scholarships, you know. So I think that's going to be even better than the basketball. I mean the backpack giveaway. Oh my
Yeah.
God, I keep blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. Mhm.
Basketball, backpack. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
All the bees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So earlier in the segment, we gave you guys a mortgage related question. And that question was, what information drives interest rates?
Okay. I know we used to have a drum roll.
We used to have it.
We got sound effects, a little
We
sound
do.
effect board too. So
We
we'll have
do.
to figure that out, and we'll start implementing those. But the answer
Not today.
not today. Yeah, not
Yes.
today. But the answer to the question is there's a lot of different things, but the main things that indicate or impact interest rates is the 10-year Treasury and also inflation. So if you can look at how inflation goes when it's up, down, and how it moves, you could see exactly a direct correlation of where rates are and what they are doing as well, and also the 10-year Treasury. I mean, if you look at, even 20, 30, 40 years ago, if you look at just like a map, a graph, not even a map, but a graph of the 10-year Treasury, you could see it has the exact, correlation. It's normally like 1.4%, like away, on average over time. So,
Correct.
yeah, both of those things are drivers of it, and that's why, we were, I think a year ago, we were like 9% inflation, and so I know now we're right around that 3.8, 3.9, if I'm not mistaken, when it came out, I think a week or two ago. So we're moving in the right direction. The Fed has been consistently hiking the rates up. I know they're supposed to meet next week. So the indication
see.
is they're gonna do another rate hike. And like we want to just make sure that you gotta understand that the rate hike is not meaning they're hiking interest rates up. They're just hiking the Federal Reserve rate up, right? And so that's like if you were to go try to get a credit card or get a loan.
It's prime rate.
Yeah, that's the prime rate. The prime rate is consistently hiking up, but they're doing that purposely to detain people from spending money, and so that the inflation could continue to go down. And it's been working. It's just been taking a lot longer time, and it's while you're going through that process.
They were at high speed and they slowed it down. So
Yeah.
it used to be where they were increasing the rates by 0.75%
Yeah.
each time, and then when things started to move in the right direction in regards to inflation, then they slowed it down. But then they realized that somehow they weren't talking to each other, I guess you could say. So then now we're at this space where I don't even know what they're going to do with the rate. I mean, I know it's going to increase. I just don't know if they're going to keep that 0.25% increase, or if they're going to, hike it up maybe 0.5, 0.75 again, just to kind of like speed this process up, like get to where we need to go faster.
The word that they've been using is soft landing.
Yeah.
That's the word. So I think that's what they've been trying to do. They didn't want to keep hiking them up so aggressively and have that abrupt land. It's like a plane, you kind of want to ease yourself down till you get to that landing point. And so that's kind of the tactic that they've been going after. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
So that's the answer to today's question. So if you have the opportunity, try to Google stuff like that, because the more you educate yourself, the more educated you are to make informed decisions later on in life.
Absolutely.
So what you got coming up next?
Let's see. Today I'm actually, for people who actually see out there, I'm wearing black and a long sleeve black shirt. And it's like 95. It's like 95 degrees outside. But yeah, unfortunately, I'm going to actually a funeral after this.
Okay.
One of my closest friends, his brother passed away unexpectedly. Just got sick. I mean, all in 24 hours. It was crazy. It was a real crazy situation. So I'm going to go, when I leave here, go straight there, show my respect for him and his family. And then after that, we're getting together. Our team is getting together.
Correct.
And just we try to do like a team building, get together
quarterly.
every quarter. So this is the summer quarter, I guess you can say, that we're going to get together, probably just get some food and some drinks and talk about just different things or whatnot. Just kind of see how things have been going on personally and professionally with each other.
Yep.
Just check in with each other. And then honestly, that's really it. This weekend, like I said, I'm leaving, going to Vegas next weekend. So this weekend, I'm kind of just taking it easy. My daughter, she has a birthday party she's going to tomorrow. So my wife is taking her there. And so me and my son, we're going to find something to do. I was thinking maybe taking like the Dave and Buster's or go to the beach or something like that. My dad hit me up. And so he wants to play tennis in the morning. So I'll be doing that with him. Me and him will, get some. He's trying to find different ways to exercise. He wants to take up that pickleball. I know that's a big thing that a lot of people are playing now. I've seen a lot of celebrities. I've seen this morning, Drake and Michael B. Jordan. They together, they invested in some type of pickleball league or tournament or something like that. So I see it's kind of the new wave.
I've never seen pickleball played, but I've seen that on our jobs. We have like a merch website, and they have pickleball
gear,
things for the racket.
Okay.
Like what would you call that? Like
I don't know what you mean. What are you saying?
So you know how like a tennis racket, to protect your stuff, you put this thing on there.
You talking about just like the bag it's in? You saying?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
For the racket.
Yeah.
It only protects the racket, and the handle's still out.
Okay.
Okay, so they have something similar to that for pickleball.
Okay.
That I saw on there. I was like,
cool.
oh, okay. So I know what shape it is, but I don't know, how to play the sport, or I've never seen it played.
Yeah, I've never played before, but I definitely see it's the new wave.
Tennis?
Yeah, it's similar to tennis. It's very similar to tennis. I just think just the boundaries are a little bit different. I don't know what the scoring is. I have to look into that, but I know that's something that a lot of folks are doing. So my dad said he wanted to kind of get into it, but me and him still love tennis. I watch it all the time, and we like to play. We haven't played in a while, so we're gonna play this Saturday morning. So I'm looking forward to that. And then, like I said, that's pretty much it. Just kind of laying low this weekend, kicking it. What about you? What you got going?
So tomorrow, I'm actually on a panel for a VHDA course. So I am covering the lender portion and the credit portion of the class, and it's an 8-hour class. So I'll be there for the better part of the morning. I asked the person who, I forget what her position is called, but she's the person that put it together for her, because she's the one that signs the letter saying that you took the course. But
Unknown.
sorry, my phone is off the hook this morning. It don't usually go like that. But so I'm gonna leave there, and then 2 of my kids got birthday parties tomorrow. So fun for me. Yeah.
Oh yeah, birthday party. That's the time of the year, summer.
Yeah. One is at they're both at Di-Fi, or now Sky Zone. I think they changed the name again.
Okay.
Over in Chesapeake. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. It used to be iCloud. Then they changed it to Di-Fi. Now I think they changed it to Sky Zone.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's pretty much it. And my kids been asking to go to the beach, so I'll probably take them to the beach. For me, that's pretty chill. Go get some sandwiches, and we just chill out there for a few hours or whatever.
Okay.
And then I bought these new I don't know, they're not blinds, but they're not curtains, but there's something that I bought, and so my my drill wasn't working last night, and I was trying to put it together, me and my little cousin, and so that's a task for the weekend too, is to put that together, and put it up. So yeah, yep, that's all I got going for the weekend. And then next weekend is Jada's birthday party, and the weekend after that is my birthday celebration. Even though my birthday is next weekend, my celebration is the weekend after.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So guys, we always like to leave you on a positive note. So today's quote of the day is: life is always about change. You're never too old to set another goal or to dream a new dream. So
I like that one.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah.
Definitely.
Sometimes people feel like, oh man, like I remember I was having a conversation with my barber.
When I was younger, I used to want to do that.
Well, not even that. I mean, he's older than me. He has me by about 10 years. And so he was like, hey man, he was like, we were just having a conversation. He was like, man, like, I wish I would have did this. He's like, I see how you're set up in this situation, like, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, I wish I would have done this, man, because right now at my age, I would be this far along. And I'm like, man, it's never too late to change, bro. It's all about information, understanding, doing better, learning yourself, improving every day. So it just because, you're this age, I'm this age, like you comparing where you are in your life on your journey versus me. I mean, that's not how it goes, man. I mean, you figure out what you figure out and you decide what you decide, and that's what it is, man. So I was just having a conversation with him, and he kind of was talking like it was over. Yeah, like it was something that can't be done. I'm like, nah, bro, you can still do it right now. Like, I mean, you just gotta make a decision and stand on it and move forward with that. You know what I mean? So I'm big on that quote. So I think that was dope. Yeah.
So that's all the time that we have for you guys today. Please follow us on Facebook and Instagram. I am SKB_mortgage.
Yep, and I'm Bryan Royster, so it's Bryan_Royster with the Y.
Did you change it?
Nah, it's been that. No, I mean, I changed it like 6 months ago, but we talked about that already, though.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Yep.
I'm getting old.
Yeah, you are.
Well, thank you for listening to our podcast, and we will see you next week.
See you next week.